What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we have a new video, a new product, and it's been brought to us by Tim's Foos yet again. He's been sending me stuff to check out. I like checking out new products. I always find it fun. And this one's a little bit different than usual. I would say that this is going to be a product I don't know that we needed, but definitely something that I find enjoyable and interesting. I personally don't love it, but that doesn't mean I don't think it has a place in foosball, and I definitely think there's going to be a lot of people out there that do love this. I am going to use this for a different purpose than for what he's using it for. This is called the FoosTape. This is going to replace a lot of people's wraps, which I think is really interesting. However, I'm not going to use it for that purpose, but I want to show you guys what it's actually used for, what its strengths are, what it's good for, and I'm also going to show you what I use it for because I think it has its own place here in foosball for a couple different purposes. So let's check this out. Let me jump on the table. Let me show you how it's used and what the bonus points are for it, and then we'll kind of take it from there. Now, some of the advantages of this are going to be the fact that you don't need a rubber band anymore. This wrap allows for you to completely get rid of the rubber band and all of its properties. And there's some other cool things to it. You can also reuse this really, really well. It allows for you to get a lot more feel of the ball because there's no spongy wrap in your way. I think that's very, very cool. So let's jump on the table. Let me show you how to set this up, how you use it, and what I personally use it for. All right, everybody. So a little bit of FoosTape. So what's interesting is you're going to want to pull just a little bit off, right? First and foremost. And it's going to be similar to any normal wrap that you may have. But what's nice about this is it can stay on the roll. You kind of cover up the first portion, right? Then once you have that, it's pretty straightforward. It just wraps right on. You go around kind of one last time, and you can just straight rip it off. And that's it. You're done, which is really cool. It gives us a softer, not softer, but like a more of a fabric feel. It's pretty neat in that aspect, and like I said, it is like there's not much that goes on here that really allows for you to feel the rod and the table. So I find that to be really nice. It's cool that you don't need a rubber band. I'm a big fan of that. And then really to get it off, all you have to do is kind of scratch at it a little bit, get a tab, and you can pull that right off with really no problem. And that's all you need is just this little segment of wrap. And then say you want to put it back on, again, simple, you can go right back to it, and it gets right back on there with little to no issue, which I think for a wrap, that's very, very cool, very, very inventive in that aspect. I'm a big fan of how that's usable, and I don't need rubber bands. Rubber bands to me are like the devil. I'm always losing them. I never seem to have enough of them, and these things are frustrating, to say the least. So that part of this I find to be very, very nice, and I like that a lot. I don't feel like it gives as much of a tacky feel as what I use, which is called Mega Tack. I don't use a lot of the other stuff. I use Mega Tack these days. So very, very neat, very, very cool. I'm going to show you a couple more things here real quick and why I think that this can be used for some other things as well. All right, guys, so what do I use this for? You see my wrap is back on here. This is my personal preference. Everybody's different. I know people that don't even use wraps, right? And I think people that don't use wraps will really, really enjoy FoosTape. I think that's a fantastic place for it. What I use it for, and I don't know if you guys know this, but rollover shooters get like that little pad right here. They get cut. I know my partners in the past shooting a rollover have busted open right here. And it's really caused them to struggle when shooting their rollover. I'm somebody that shoots a pull, so if I shoot a rollover at all, this gets cut up pretty fast. What I like to do is actually use this as a wrap around my own wrist. So now, when I do that, and if I wasn't horrible at doing this already, and you kind of just tack it in right there, right? Is I like to use that as a barrier, like an extra layer of skin for when I'm shooting a rollover. So now I can set that rollover up, use this And it really allows for no damage to happen to my wrist. And for me, that's a big deal. And as a pull shooter, it actually does double duty. It's like getting your wrist wrapped in football or in ice hockey in some kind of sport. Gives you a little bit more support there than before. So I actually have been using this here and there when I play locally. I find it to be very helpful. And I think you guys will too. I really like it for this purpose. I think it's okay for a wrap, but I really, really like it for this purpose. And I think there's going to be a lot of people that really like it for a wrap. So I just want to make that perfectly clear. Everybody's going to be a little bit different. I think this is an awesome choice for both. It's just dependent on the person. So in conclusion, what do I think about Tim's Foos wrap tape? Well, is it for me? Probably not. Is it for a lot of people? I think so. It has some really, really good qualities to it. First and foremost, one of the best qualities is it's inexpensive. Each roll is going to get you anywhere from 5 to 6 wraps, which I think is a great price. You're going to be able to cover a table very, very inexpensively, which is awesome. So there's nothing wrong with that. I think that this really has a good place in the world of foosball. For me personally, I'm going to use it for my wrist. I think that's going to be the best thing for me. I think there's going to be a lot of snake shooters, a lot of pull shooters that are going to want to use this for that purpose. Now, I'm going to hear the argument I already know that it's going to be very similar to medical tape. That's true. However, this is going to be thicker than the medical tape. This is going to be an industrial version of that, a little bit more difficult to find, a little bit more commercial style. So I would definitely suggest this over that. You're going to find that this stuff's really easy to work with. And those of you that really like the handle feel and don't like the big puffy pillow wraps, this is definitely for you. I would get this immediately from Tim's Foos. For those of you that are kind of skeptical, but you shoot a rollover and your wrist is tore up, I'd get this too. This is going to be a really, really good way for you to still feel the rod. It's not super thick. It's going to allow for you to get that movement and motion that you're looking for and not tear your wrist up. I think that's a great thing for this. And I think that's where Tim really kind of excelled in saying FoosTape and not Foos wrap. He's saying use this the way you want to use it. His intended purpose is obviously as a wrap, but the economic choice on this, I believe it's $15 for 4. That's going to really give you anywhere from 22 to 24 wraps. I believe that's at roughly $15, guys. So big time suggestion on this if you're looking to get an inexpensive wrap for your table. And for those of you that are just home players that are looking to get a little something on the handles themselves and not spend a bunch of money on wraps, this is a great choice. So guys, definitely check this out. Go to timsfoos.com. That is timsfoos.com. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. And until next time, happy foosing.